The two sisters chose flowers to decide marriage. The older sister quickly snatched the plum blossom meant for the poor scholar, and left the rose from the general's house for her younger sister. But it wasn't because she was being generous, it was because in her past life, the older sister married into the general's family, and the general died in battle soon after. Unable to bear the loneliness, she had an affair. When the affair was exposed, people spat on her, and she was paraded through the streets, then drowned. On the way to her punishment, she ran into the top scholar's wedding procession. That was when she realized the scholar her sister chose had passed the imperial exam, and her sister was made a lady for her contributions. The older sister knelt down begging her brother-in-law to save her, but he still resented her for not choosing him during the husband selection, and coldly ordered his men to drive her away. The older sister completely lost hope. She tricked her sister into coming close, saying she had final words, and stabbed her in the stomach when she let her guard down. The scholar shoved the older sister away, and angrily ordered his men to beat her to death. But while pretending to be heartbroken, he pushed the knife in deeper, because the princess had her eyes on him. He had planned to get rid of the woman anyway, so the woman died full of regret. But maybe heaven wanted to give the sisters one more chance. The moment she opened her eyes, she returned to the day 3 years ago when they chose their husbands, and once again their father placed 2 flowers before them. Before she could decide, the older sister grabbed the plum blossom meant for the scholar. The woman realized at once her sister had been reborn too, but their biased father scolded the older sister, saying she was ungrateful, giving up the general's house to suffer with a poor man. The older sister sneered at the general, calling him short-lived and unlucky for wives, and swore the scholar would become a top graduate in 3 years. Hearing this, their father finally agreed, but she had no idea. The scholar's home was a living hell. She only saw the woman's glory from her past life, not the abuse she suffered from the scholar's family. So this time both sisters made the opposite choice. Soon the wedding day came. The woman proudly married into the general's house, but the guests looked at her with disdain, saying she was greedy and shameless, that she only wanted the general's power. Just then the groom was announced, but a rooster walked through the door. It turned out the housekeeper, who had a crush on the general, had replaced him with a rooster to humiliate the bride. But the woman stayed calm, and flipped the situation in her favor. The housekeeper was furious, accusing her of being sharp-tongued and disrespectful, of insulting the guests and the general. When words failed her, she tried to use house discipline, but the woman slapped her hard, saying she was just a servant in the house. The housekeeper shook with rage and tried to fight back, but then a voice came from outside. The real general had arrived.